Ladies, intelligence isn't just about books or degrees. It's about how you navigate life, the decisions you make, and the boundaries you set. Being a smart woman means knowing your worth and never compromising on the things that matter most. First, set boundaries without guilt. People will always take as much as you give. But a smart woman knows that protecting her peace is her responsibility. Saying no is not selfish. It is necessary. When you set boundaries, you teach people how to treat you. Setting boundaries without guilt is one of the most powerful skills a smart woman can develop. It is not about pushing people away. It is about defining what is acceptable in your life and ensuring that you protect your energy, time, and mental well-being. Many women struggle with setting boundaries because they fear being perceived as selfish or unkind. They are conditioned to be accommodating, to always say yes, and to put others' needs above their own. But the truth is, when you fail to set boundaries, you teach people that it is okay to overstep and disregard your feelings. A smart woman understands that setting boundaries is not an act of rejection. It is an act of self-respect. She knows that constantly saying yes to things that drain her will eventually lead to exhaustion and resentment. People will take as much as you allow them to. And without clear boundaries, you will find yourself feeling overwhelmed and undervalued. Setting boundaries means recognizing that your time and energy are valuable and that you do not have to justify your need for space or peace. It is about knowing when to say no without explaining yourself or feeling guilty for prioritizing yourself. Boundaries are not just about saying no, they are about communicating your needs with confidence. A smart woman does not apologize for wanting respect. She does not tolerate constant interruptions, excessive demands, or emotional manipulation. If someone consistently crosses the line, she addresses it directly, not with anger, but with firmness. She does not allow guilt to force her into uncomfortable situations just to please others. She understands that her worth is not measured by how much she can endure, but by how much she values herself. Many people will resist when you start enforcing boundaries, especially if they have benefited from your lack of them. They may try to make you feel guilty or label you as difficult, but a smart woman does not let the opinions of others dictate her actions. She remains firm, knowing that the right people will respect her choices. She does not explain her boundaries in a way that invites negotiation. She simply states them and stands by them. One of the most challenging areas where boundaries are needed is in relationships, whether romantic, familial, or professional. A smart woman understands that she is not responsible for managing other people's emotions at the cost of her own peace. She refuses to tolerate disrespect, dishonesty, or toxic behaviors just to keep the peace. She does not allow guilt to keep her in situations that do not serve her. Instead, she sets clear expectations and removes herself from environments that drain her spirit. Learning to set boundaries without guilt is an ongoing process, but it is a necessary one. The more you practice, the more empowered you become. A smart woman is not afraid to demand the respect she deserves because she knows that when she honors herself, she teaches others to do the same. A smart woman understands that the greatest investment she can make is in herself. She knows that personal growth, education, self-care, and continuous learning are the foundation of a fulfilling and successful life. Investing in oneself is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the difference between stagnation and progress, between waiting for opportunities and creating them. When a woman prioritizes herself, she is not being selfish. She is ensuring that she has the knowledge, skills, and mindset to navigate life with confidence and purpose. One of the key ways a smart woman invests in herself is through education. This does not always mean formal schooling. It means continuously seeking knowledge, reading books, learning new skills, and staying informed. She understands that intelligence is not just about academic success, but about staying curious and open-minded. She is not afraid to take courses, attend seminars, or explore new fields because she knows that knowledge is power. The more she learns, the more she expands her possibilities. Beyond intellectual growth, she also invests in her emotional and mental well-being. She recognizes the importance of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and personal development. She takes time to reflect on her thoughts, heal from past wounds, and develop a strong sense of self. A smart woman does not let her emotions control her. She learns how to manage stress, handle conflict, and cultivate inner peace. She is mindful of the people she surrounds herself with and does not allow toxic relationships to drain her energy. She chooses to be in spaces that uplift her rather than ones that break her spirit. Another critical area of investment is health. A smart woman knows that her body is her foundation. She prioritizes fitness, eats nourishing food, and takes care of her physical well-being. She does not wait until she is burned out to start caring for herself. She understands that self-care is not just about spa days and relaxation. It is about discipline, consistency, and making choices that support her longevity and well-being. She invests in rest, knowing that a well-rested mind performs better. She sets routines that keep her energized and strong because she knows that when she feels good physically, she can show up fully in other areas of her life. Financial independence is another area where a smart woman invests in herself. She does not rely on others to provide for her. She takes control of her finances by learning about saving, investing, and wealth building. She does not spend carelessly. She makes decisions that secure her future. Whether it is starting a business, advancing in her career, or learning about investments, she understands that financial stability gives her the freedom to live life on her terms. Most importantly, a smart woman invests in her self-worth. She knows that confidence is built from within, and she does not seek validation from external sources. She spends time developing her strengths, embracing her uniqueness, and working towards her dreams. She understands that the effort she puts into herself today will shape the woman she becomes tomorrow. A smart woman understands that intelligence is not just about logic and knowledge. It is about mastering emotions, handling relationships wisely, and responding to life's challenges with grace. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions, both in oneself and in others. It is what allows her to navigate difficult situations without being controlled by impulsive reactions. Instead of letting emotions dictate her actions, she learns how to use them as tools for growth and clarity. She starts by developing self-awareness. A smart woman takes the time to understand her triggers, her strengths, and her weaknesses. She pays attention to her emotional patterns and reflects on how they influence her decisions. Instead of blaming others for how she feels, she takes responsibility for her emotions and works on improving her responses. She does not allow anger, fear, or insecurity to cloud her judgment. She steps back, observes, and chooses how to react rather than acting on impulse. Beyond self-awareness, she also masters self-regulation. Life will always present challenges, and not everything will go as planned. However, a smart woman does not let her emotions control her behavior. She knows that reacting in anger or frustration can damage relationships and create unnecessary stress. Instead of lashing out, she takes a deep breath, processes her emotions, and responds with composure. She does not allow temporary emotions to cause permanent damage. She practices patience, knowing that emotional control is a sign of strength, not weakness. A key part of emotional intelligence is empathy, the ability to understand and connect with others. A smart woman listens before she speaks. She does not assume. She seeks to understand different perspectives. She knows that people have their own battles, and rather than being judgmental, she chooses to be compassionate. This does not mean tolerating disrespect or excusing bad behavior. It means being able to communicate effectively and approach situations with wisdom. She knows that true strength lies in being able to balance both kindness and boundaries. In relationships, whether personal or professional, she prioritizes effective communication. She expresses her thoughts clearly and assertively without being aggressive. She does not suppress her emotions, nor does she let them explode uncontrollably. Instead, she articulates her needs and expectations with confidence. She understands that conflicts are not about winning or losing, but about finding solutions that respect both sides. She avoids unnecessary drama because she values peace over chaos. Emotional intelligence also means learning to detach from negativity. A smart woman does not let criticism, rejection, or toxic people shake her self-worth. She understands that not everything deserves a reaction, and sometimes silence is the most powerful response. She does not allow other people's emotions to dictate her happiness. Instead, she focuses on her own growth, surrounding herself with those who uplift and inspire her. Through emotional intelligence, she gains control over her life. She becomes a woman who is not only intelligent in thought, but wise in action. She remains calm in storms, strong in adversity, and graceful in all that she does. A smart woman understands that financial independence is not just about money. It is about freedom, security, and self-respect. She knows that relying on others for financial stability can make her vulnerable to circumstances beyond her control. Instead of waiting for someone to provide for her, she takes responsibility for her financial future. She does not see money as a source of stress, but as a tool that allows her to build the life she wants. She educates herself about saving, investing, and creating multiple income streams because she understands that knowledge is power, especially when it comes to financial well-being. From an early stage, she develops a habit of financial discipline. She does not spend recklessly or live beyond her means just to impress others. Instead, she prioritizes financial planning and makes thoughtful decisions about where her money goes. She creates budgets, tracks her expenses, and ensures that she is not wasting resources on things that do not add long-term value to her life. She understands the difference between needs and wants, and she is not easily swayed by temporary pleasures that could put her in financial distress later. A smart woman also prioritizes saving and investing. She does not keep all her money sitting in a bank account where it loses value over time. Instead, she learns about investment opportunities that align with her financial goals. Whether it is stocks, real estate, businesses, or other assets, she makes informed decisions that help her money grow. She does not wait for the perfect time to start investing because she knows that financial security is built through consistent strategic actions. She also values the importance of emergency funds, ensuring that she has financial backup for unexpected situations. Career growth and professional development are also crucial for financial independence. A smart woman does not settle for a paycheck that barely covers her expenses. She actively seeks ways to increase her earning potential. Whether through career advancement, learning new skills, starting a side business, or negotiating for better pay, she takes action to ensure that she is not financially dependent on anyone. She understands that financial stability does not come from luck, but from continuous effort and smart decision-making. She also surrounds herself with financial wisdom. She does not take advice from just anyone, but seeks guidance from those who have successfully built wealth. She reads books, attends financial workshops, and learns from experts. She knows that financial literacy is an ongoing journey, and the more she learns, the better she can secure her future. Most importantly, a smart woman never lets money define her worth, but she also never ignores its importance. She understands that financial independence gives her the ability to make choices that align with her values. She does not stay in toxic relationships or unfulfilling jobs just because she needs financial support. Instead, she builds a life where she can stand on her own, confident in her ability to create opportunities, take risks, and thrive without limitations. A smart woman understands that not everyone deserves a place in her life. She recognizes that toxicity can come in many forms. relationships that drain her energy, friendships that manipulate her, workplaces that diminish her worth, or even habits and thoughts that hold her back. Instead of making excuses for toxic people or situations, she has the courage to walk away. She knows that staying in environments that do not serve her will only lead to emotional exhaustion, self-doubt, and a compromised sense of self-worth. She does not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or negativity, no matter where it comes from. If someone constantly belittles her, undermines her success, or makes her feel small, she does not stay and hope for change. She understands that people show their true colors through their actions, not their words. She refuses to accept love, friendships, or professional relationships that come at the cost of her peace. Instead of waiting for things to get better, she trusts her instincts and chooses what is best for her well-being. Walking away from toxicity is not always easy. There are times when she may feel guilty or hesitant, especially if she has invested years into a relationship or a job. But a smart woman knows that history does not justify staying in a harmful situation. She does not let fear keep her trapped. She understands that true strength is not in enduring pain, but in having the wisdom to remove herself from what no longer serves her. She does not engage in unnecessary drama. She does not fight to prove her worth to people who refuse to see it. If someone consistently disrespects her, she does not beg for their validation. She walks away with dignity. She understands that she cannot change toxic people, nor is it her responsibility to fix them. Instead of wasting her energy on trying to make things work, she redirects that energy toward her own growth and happiness. A smart woman also walks away from toxic habits and mindsets. She does not allow negative self-talk, self-doubt, or limiting beliefs to control her. She recognizes when she is holding herself back and takes steps to break free, whether it is procrastination, unhealthy coping mechanisms, or self-sabotage. She actively works to replace them with habits that uplift and empower her. She is not afraid to be alone. She knows that solitude is better than bad company. She does not stay in a relationship just because she fears loneliness, nor does she keep toxic friendships just to feel included. She values quality over quantity and surrounds herself with people who inspire, support, and uplift her. Every time she walks away from toxicity, she makes space for something better. She protects her peace, prioritizes her well-being, and creates an environment where she can thrive. She knows that she is not obligated to endure situations that make her unhappy, and she has the courage to choose herself. Every single time. A smart woman understands that her femininity and strength are not opposing forces but powerful aspects of who she is. She does not feel the need to diminish her softness to prove her strength, nor does she believe that embracing her femininity makes her weak. Instead, she balances both with grace, knowing that true power lies in being authentic and unapologetically herself. She does not conform to societal expectations that try to define what a woman should be. She defines herself on her own terms, embracing the full spectrum of her personality, emotions, and ambitions. She knows that femininity is not just about appearance or traditional roles. It is about confidence, emotional intelligence, and the ability to influence the world with poise and wisdom. She does not shy away from qualities such as kindness, empathy, or intuition, because she understands that these are strengths, not weaknesses. She does not suppress her emotions in an attempt to appear strong. She channels them wisely. She listens, she nurtures, she leads, and she commands respect without demanding it. At the same time, she is unshaken by challenges. She refuses to let the world dictate what she is capable of achieving. When she faces obstacles, She meets them head on, not by compromising her femininity, but by using it to her advantage. She does not believe she has to act like a man to succeed. She embraces her unique strengths, her resilience, her ability to adapt, her intuition, and her deep sense of purpose. She knows that her strength is not just physical or aggressive. It is in her ability to remain graceful under pressure, to rise after every setback, and to inspire others with her determination. She does not allow society to place limits on her. If she wants to be ambitious, she pursues her dreams without apology. If she chooses to prioritize family, she does so with pride. She understands that there is no single definition of what it means to be a strong woman. Whether she leads a company, raises a family, or does both, she walks confidently in her purpose. She refuses to let anyone shame her for her choices. She is secure in her identity, knowing that she does not have to fit into a mold to be worthy. A smart woman also understands that embracing her femininity does not mean tolerating disrespect. She does not allow others to take advantage of her kindness, mistaking it for weakness. She knows when to be gentle and when to stand firm. She does not shrink herself to make others comfortable. She takes up space, speaks her mind, and stands up for herself and others. She knows that true femininity is not about seeking approval. It is about self-respect, confidence, and the courage to be herself in any situation. She walks with a quiet confidence that commands attention. She does not need to prove anything to anyone. She simply is. Powerful, feminine, and strong in every sense of the word. A smart woman knows her worth and refuses to settle for anything less than what she deserves. She understands that settling, whether in relationships, career, or personal growth, leads to a life of frustration, regret, and unfulfilled potential. She does not accept mediocrity simply because it is comfortable or because society tells her she should be grateful for what she has. Instead, she strives for more, not out of greed, but out of self-respect and the belief that she is capable of achieving greatness. She does not stay in relationships that drain her, make her feel unappreciated, or force her to compromise her values. She knows that love should not be begged for and respect should not be negotiated. If someone does not meet her standards, she does not lower them to accommodate them. She walks away. She refuses to tolerate inconsistency, dishonesty, or emotional neglect just to avoid being alone. She understands that being single is far better than being with someone who does not truly value her. She would rather wait for the right person than settle for the wrong one out of fear or impatience. In her career, she does not accept jobs that leave her feeling unfulfilled, underpaid, or unrecognized. She knows that her skills and contributions have value, and she is not afraid to demand what she deserves. She does not stay in a position that stifles her growth or limits her potential. Instead, she seeks opportunities that challenge and inspire her. She continues to learn, improve, and evolve, ensuring that she is always moving forward. She is not afraid to take risks, step out of her comfort zone, or start over if necessary, because she knows that settling will never lead to true success. Beyond relationships and career, she also refuses to settle in her personal development. She does not let herself become stagnant or accept a life that does not excite or fulfill her. She consistently works on herself mentally, physically, and emotionally. She does not make excuses for why she cannot improve or achieve her goals. Instead, she takes responsibility for her growth, putting in the effort required to become the best version of herself. She also does not settle for a life that lacks joy, purpose, or passion. She refuses to go through the motions, living a life that feels ordinary when she knows she is meant for more. She surrounds herself with people who uplift and inspire her, not those who drain her energy or hold her back. She does not waste time in environments that do not align with her vision for herself. A smart woman's refusal to settle is not about arrogance or unrealistic expectations. It is about knowing her value and never compromising it for the sake of convenience. She trusts that by holding herself to a higher standard, she will attract the relationships, opportunities, and experiences that truly align with her worth. She is patient, persistent, and fearless in her pursuit of the life she deserves.